UNC big man Ven-Allen Lubin in the portal, kind of.
Is he?
He is in the portal, but he issued this tweet to go along with his portal entry. This is verbatim his tweet. Quote, before anybody jumps to the wrong conclusion, I'm letting everyone know that I'm entering the transfer portal with full intent on returning to UNC. My action relates to the complexities surrounding the possible approval of the pending NCAA settlement. End quote. Seems like he wants his money.
To follow that up, Goodman tweeted out Ven-Allen Lubin's deal with UNC involved a third-party deal, and he is just protecting himself from the potential issues post-house settlement, source told Field of 68. Goodman committed as a smart business decision just to protect himself and to give himself some leverage. Yeah, it seems like, I don't know, man, all this stuff is convoluted. This might be I don't want to use superlatives, but I'm like, this is one of like the weirder situations I've seen since we've been in this NIL era. Like I'm in the portal, but I'm coming back, but just figure out the finances for me. I'm kind of, maybe it should be surprising that we don't see like more of these types of situations unfold. I guess my hypothesis would be they usually get taken care of behind the scenes before it hits the public light and puts pressure on the university. But yeah, weird situation. Look, I hope Carolina can figure it out. I think Ven-Allen Lubin was really good for them down the stretch of the
It was.
season, the most consistent Tar Heel, like over Carolina's. I got the stats in front of me. Over their last 11 games, the Tar Heels went 8-3. Lubin averaged 13.6 points, 7.2 rebounds during that stretch. Again, some really bad competition with like the ACC bottom feeders, but it's not nothing. I mean, he scored double figures
Yeah.
all 11 of those games and seemed to come into his own. And when you project that this upcoming season, where probably in a smaller role behind Henry Vasar, Vasar will ideally be getting 25, 30 minutes a game. I think you can get away with playing those two together for stretches just because of Vasar's passing and his shooting ability. But yeah, he's someone who I think UNC would like to have back and would be one of the better backup bigs in the country.
He was one of their most reliable players down the stretch of last season, the last month and a half or so. So wild thing to say, given how out of his depth he seemed the first part of the year. Progression was significant with him. I This is just kind of, I think, an unfortunate sign of where we're at in college sports. The third party deal that he's got the NIL agreement with, if the NCAA settlement gets approved, basically all of those have to go through a clearinghouse or a person or a group of people who decide basically what your fair market value is. And so this is almost him saying like, I don't know if I'm going to get that total amount if they go through that. So can we get some assurances here that I'm going to get what we had agreed to, which makes sense. It gives UNC the opportunity to quote unquote like make right on him
Mm-hmm.
and pay him that and make sure he gets that. But it also gives them an opportunity to be like, no, I don't think you're worth what we said. So if you want to find a better deal out there, go ahead.
We interrupt this sleepers video to tell you about an offer from Underdog Fantasy. Cart, you love Underdog Fantasy, correct?
Of course I do. Can I have a moment real quick?
Please. Thank you for that. In fact, I'm going to cut you off because our listeners like when we keep these short and sweet. Underdog Fantasy. Sign up as a new user. Use promo code SLEEPERS. Get bonus funds up to $1,000, 50% of your deposit match. The NBA playoffs are rocking right now. I played Underdog last week with a Cade Cunningham line. I'm looking forward to doing it throughout the entire first round of the NBA playoffs, but there's more. You can place picks on golf. You can place picks on baseball. You can place picks on the NHL playoffs that are rocking right now. Join Underdog Fantasy, promo code SLEEPERS. Support this show so that we can keep bringing videos to you. Back to the video.
I mean, based on the scarcity of big men in the portal right now, like if you're a high major team looking for a five man, are you talking yourself into like Josh Ajamwana as your guy going forward? Like who are you looking for? I think Lubin probably could get a bigger payday than what UNC is looking to pay him. Does he, if he sees this through? I don't know. It's tough, Ralph. I think like you see a player say my full intention is coming back, but when they're also in the portal, it just gives me a little bit of pause that it's ultimately going to respond or result in a second season with Lubin and Chapel Hill.
Yeah,
Like he
it's
can,
it's a leverage play, right? Because you're in the portal, so you can leave, but you're
Mhm.
kind of ridding yourself of that leverage by saying, "I want to come back." And appreciate the openness of like, "Hey, this is what I'm doing." So it's giving me the option to leave if you don't pay up. So I get the sense that there is kind of solid feelings on both sides that I think both want this reunion to work. But
Mhm.
Lubin is, you know, I want to come back if it's on my terms,
Mhm. Which
which
I
makes
get. Like
sense.
he's not going to start this year unless something unforeseen happens. And I wouldn't blame him for seeing what else is out there to get a starting caliber offer. I think what would work in the favor for him returning is this is his third stop already. Like, do you really want to move again for your senior year? You know, your last
Right.
ride. How many more how many more high academic schools can you choose between he's gone Notre Dame to Vandy to UNC? Like, are you gonna aim for Stanford next? I don't really think that would make a lot of sense if you want to go that route, but it seems like academics is something he values. People might make their decade-old UNC fake classes jokes. Have at it. I don't care. But I hope he returns to Chapel Hill. The only thing that I would say is like a slight devil's advocate with any questions about him is like he is an undersized five-man. And I think a lot of his offensive value down the stretch at UNC was tied to Elliot Cadeau. Cadeau and him developed really good chemistry out of ball screens. Like Cadeau would find him for easy looks multiple times a game. It seemed to be his favorite lob target and really his only lob target. So when you look at the UNC roster right now and the guard room as it stands is Kyan Evans at the one and four-star top 60 kid Derek Dixon is more of a combo as his backup. There's not really that pass first type of player, or it doesn't even have to be a pass first. There's not really a player yet, I think, who's demonstrated that type of playmaking acumen that Lubin might be looking for in terms of like, hey, I need someone who's going to get me those shots at the rim. I need someone throwing me those lobs. I need someone who's going to find me where I like the ball in the post. To all of that kind of makes sense why he would explore his options. And to even from a Carolina standpoint, it's like, oh, maybe your value's a little bit just diminished when you're undersized,
Yeah.
kind of have a limited offensive game and the floor general's gone. That being said, like if you're the UNC staff and you're looking to round out your roster with backups and bench pieces, you probably prefer the guy who you know, the guy who you've seen play well, even when given opportunity. Like if an injury arose, if
Yeah.
Vasar went down with an injury, you know what you get out of Lubin is it's pretty solid play in the ACC.
Absolutely. We talked about this with Denzel Aberdeen, where Lubin is going into his last season of college basketball. Not a real NBA future for him. It's your last real chance to like cash in on a true payday,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I don't blame him for wanting to lock that up. Same time, we mentioned the lack of portal options. There may be money out there, more money out there for him other places. Mentioned Elliot Cadeau. Michigan's going to have money if Yaxwell stays in the draft. Michigan may have some money there. It could be a reunion, but
Okay, that's actually, and it's the academic school too.
right.
I wouldn't rule that
If
out.
he's willing to wait that long, he's willing to wait that
Yeah,
long.
right,
I
right. I
think
wouldn't.
the longer this goes, I think the more interesting this will get because it means that UNC is not, guaranteeing his deal essentially, and that's where I think you could see some of those other schools creep in. But um, just use Ven-Allen Lubin's words himself, like it's basically UNC's to lose, like your choice. You want me or no?
Hopefully, it's not like that. The Who Want Me 100% no meme on
He,
UNC's.
I
Make
feel
it.
I feel pretty confident that he will end up playing power conference basketball somewhere. Probably put pretty good odds on it being in Chapel Hill, but that's why I entered the portal.
Hope it's Chapel Hill. Get it done, Carolina.